Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. Zube here. And I know what I want to talk about, but I kind of want to pull a couple cards just to see what comes up. I have this deck for some reason. This one wanted to come out. Tarot of the Divine. This is, I don't even know if I'm going to call it a general reading, because it's just kind of some stuff that's on my mind today. But I guess, I suppose it could apply as a general reading. Hold on, there's something to that. Like we make our own meaning. So, yeah. So if you get something out of this, there's something about that. I don't know, turn it over in your head. Like we make our own meaning of things. That's kind of, and it's like in my mind, it's like blending into the whole how we create our own reality thing. There are always two different perspectives. One of my favorite memes, again, is like there's a sad looking blue squiggly guy and he's like, nobody gives a shit, and he's really sad. And then there's this yellow happy squiggly line guy and he's like, nobody gives a shit. Yeah, so it's about perspective. The Four of Swords. That's prayer, meditation, quieting the mind, finding peace in something. And here's what I wanted to share, and I just thought it was really funny. I may pull some more cards, but to pull that card in on it makes a lot of sense. So I was in the grocery store the other day, and there was this elderly woman on one of those little buggy cart things, and she needed something off the top shelf. So she asked me, she was like, hey, I hate to ask you this, but would you mind grabbing something off the top shelf for me? And I kind of laughed. I was like, yeah, of course. Who wouldn't help you get something off the top shelf? Like, don't worry about it. So I grabbed it for her, gave it to her, and then, said, have a good day, whatever. And I went down the aisle because I was kind of in a hurry. I was with Zeke, my husband. I couldn't find him, or I had to go find him, whatever. And I walked down the aisle and like just barged out of the aisle into the other aisle. And I almost ran into this elderly guy who was walking along with his groceries, and he gave me a dirty look, right? And so I just kept thinking, because I spend some time contemplating the villain and the savior, and good and bad, or good and evil, just the polarities, right? And how I have like the people pleasing thing going on, but there have been a number of situations over the course of my life where people pleasing has led me to being a tremendously unpleasant person. And the biggest one that I can think of is kind of getting into my addiction. Like part of the reason I think that I was drinking and anxiety and all kinds of stuff, but because I wasn't being authentic about who I was and what I wanted. So I was like, living a life I felt was sacrificial. And then I was pissed off at other people for that. But I won't even say nobody asked me to do that, because I think people do put expectations of that honest, but I want to point out that I'm not coming from this mentally in a victim status. Like, even if people expected me to do or say things a certain way, I did it and I didn't have to, where I'm just going to keep going because I don't know where I was going with that, but and so I would drink to kind of numb myself to the fact that I wasn't being who I wanted to be. And so anyway, so I do a lot, but like there's still something about me. I'm the oldest of four, straight A student, like in grammar school and high school for the most part. And I don't like people not liking me. And so probably the past 5 years since I've gotten out of high school is being okay with people disliking me. It's still hard though. It's still a struggle. And so when I helped out the one lady, she was like, thank you so much. And then literally round the corner and cut off another guy. And getting a dirty look. Like, I didn't laugh so that he could see because I didn't want him to think I was a humongous asshole. But when I walked away, I was kind of like, oh, that's fucking funny. I see how you did that, I'm also working on like humility at the moment, and also staying more like flatlined, which that's this Four of Swords card, is just being at peace, like being with a peaceful heart. And so I just got out of meditation, and in my meditation, I made a point to like, I'm having some discomfort. There's some discomfort going around right now. And for me, it's the discomfort of a lack of control. Because the lesson is coming to me big time that like, God, spirit's in control. I'm not in control. And I was being with that discomfort and not trying to like my way around it, like I'm just sitting in it. Like, and so I was like, this is uncomfortable. That's sort of the mantra that I settled on in my meditation. And everybody's doing their best. And this is yeah, it gets weird and advanced and all of that, like not talking about levels or being like judgy about that in any sense, but there are times where I can get my heart to a place that even the most evil of evil, I can recognize as doing the best that they thought they could, and I don't live there in that heart space, but there's just something about that I'm really like in the thick of right now, is the polarities and finding this like space where I'm suspended in the middle of them. So let me pull a couple of cards on that. Justice. Yes. Oh my God. Justice. That's what karma is about. That's what, or whatever you want to call it. What goes around comes around. But it's not like even before I knew any of this shit, I never wished bad karma on anyone, or I never said like karma will get them, because I kind of felt like, well, if I'm going through some bullshit, like maybe that's my karma. And I felt like it was a boomerang. And I still do, like, especially now. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I was right about that. But if I'm sitting here disliking a situation or something that I'm uncomfortable with, then maybe that's my karma, whether it's from this life, which it could be, or even from other ones, if you believe that, which I do, and I think it could be. But like if I were to sit here and have something that I didn't like going on and be like, oh well, karma, this or that, karma will get them. I feel like that's just negating the fact that I've walked through my karma. There's something about balance. The Justice card is about balance also. And they're holding a sword. We've got a sword here, and then we've got the Four of Swords here. The swords are air. That's our mentality, our thoughts, our communications, our words. So there is something about being in our minds, but it's like we can master our minds. Like our minds are a useful tool. We just can't let it run the show. You've got to run the show from your heart space. Let's see. Let me do another. And Mars is going through Gemini. Gemini is air. And I was actually thinking too, that's funny because Gemini is the twins, and I've been thinking about duality. The Three of Cups and the Six of Cups. Three of Cups is, and I'm kind of pulling that here. We're talking about mentality, balancing our mind, having faith, trusting in laws, like the law of karma or whatever you want to call it. Just having more, trusting the process more, the process of energy and how everything plays out. Like we can only do what we can do. And when we're using our mind to try to manipulate what's going on out there, which is what worry and like shame and guilt and regret and worry about the future, it's when we're using our mind for that, then we actually create that stuff, because energetically our thoughts are putting, like our fears are putting that out there. Instead, if we utilize our minds for like understanding, for just quieting down, using our minds for listening, like listening to other people, listening to our inner wisdom. I mean, when I meditate, there's the quieter voices that are crowded out when I'm overthinking. Anyway, so then we get two cups, and I was just saying it's about the heart. The cups are our emotions, our feelings. The Three of Cups is connection, celebration, emotionally connecting with others. And the Six of Cups is like a soulmate card. It's a brother and a sister, sharing. So this is like that childlike, innocent connection, connecting with children. This card can mean connecting with children. Both of these cards are about connection. The Six of Cups can be our inner child, connecting with our inner child. And it's like that we don't neglect our mind. We want to reflect and to contemplate, but not simply let our mind run amok doing the most. That might be all I got. But I did just think that was really funny that I got to be the like hero and the villain in the course of probably 45 seconds. And I was like, I'm gonna look at that, and sometimes we can, inadvertently be the villain in somebody's life. It's not even about them. Yeah. Two of Wands. The wands are choices. It's a choice. How are you going to approach this? Are we going and he's in the middle of the wands because we're talking about duality. It's like, can you stay centered? The manifesting and all of that was cool, and I was never like, we'll put it this way, I basically fucking sucked at manifesting money, so I just stopped doing it and I started manifesting fun things, because I had too much of an attachment to money and all of that, so it was more frustrating, and that was not good for the process. But anyway, I don't know if that was noisy. When we're manifesting, it's like, I want $1 million and I want a crazy awesome house and I want this and I want that. And then, like I said, I've been working on that more measured space. It's like sometimes something good will happen, something really good, and I'll be like, okay, now it's time for that. And that can sound really lame, but it's, for me, it's better than like this, There's something to be said for you can only go this high if you go down this low. But like I was doing it like that for many years. But sometimes the manifestation process came to that for me. But I'm coming around to a place where if something really shitty happens, I'm not like, woo, just dragged down there with it either. It's all just life. Anyway, I do have to get going. I hope you have a great day on Earth. I don't know what this was, but if you're interested in a personal reading, astrology, or tarot, my information is down below. Thank you for stopping by. Peace. Namaste.